this ended up being a really fun combination. So I just was gonna fool around and try to get some gold medals, and of course the first event I try, I get completely hooked on and spent hours and hours tuning the setup and trying to improve my time, and so that's about as good of a start as I can get. Sometimes with this gear set it actually bogs down a little on the starting line. I actually felt like I was a little sloppy through here. You can get up to a little bit of a higher speed. I think 122 is even possible, but you run the risk of missing this turn, and it's really important to get over that inside bump perfectly. Eventually I was like, you know, I think I can actually get the #1 time on the leaderboard, so I'll go over the setup and a little bit of a stage guide type thing after this with the chase cam footage. I really sent it there. I thought I was definitely gonna not make it through that. I thought the run was over. I actually made it through here really fast compared to my last run. And this is a pretty sketchy section. The gear ratio I'm using lets you stay in third, and you want to brake earlier than you think. You do want to use first sometimes with this gear set, because second can bog down a little bit. They are a little longer than the default ratios.
And square right, don't cut. 3 right and 3 left long. And 5 right, 2 left long, small cut. And 2 left tightens, caution through.
This is one of my favorite sectors too. You can just absolutely fly through this gate.
4 left, very long, over crest, keep in, 40. 4 left, 60.
Thanks to everyone who subscribes and watches the video. I really appreciate it. The goal is 1,000 subscribers, and currently the channel is at 358, so quite a long ways to go, but it's going. I do feel really good about it, and it's really awesome to have so many people watching the videos and leaving comments. Finish. You can see my little fish shake celebration there. And it ends up being a 306.2, and that's about 3 seconds off the next closest time, or 3 seconds faster than the next closest time. I think when I started I was doing like a 3-minute 20-second run, so pretty huge improvement there. It feels really nice to figure out some of the setup tweaks and everything. Okay, so for the first corner here, it's a double apex. And you kind of want to use the brake a little bit to get the nose to come in. And you want to line this up as straight as you can. Then you lift, and you also want to set this up as straight as you can. This is actually a little slower. You can get up to 120. Go wide here, and you cut as much of that as you can. That was right on the edge of the track limit. Same for this. You want this to be as straight as possible. Try to do everything in straight lines if you can. Keep your wheel straight. so you're not scrubbing so much speed. You really gotta go on the inside aggressively there and almost try to get your driver's side tire on that bump. Same here, really aggressive over that bump, and I thought I was gonna lose it for sure there. Again, this is a really kind of sketchy part of the track because you got the braking section at the bottom of this hill. You want to kind of dip your wheel in the ditch a little there. And I actually slowed down really early for this run, and it actually gained me a lot of time because I got through the hairpin way faster. I was making a lot of mistakes there. This is a really fun turn. You kind of want to look at it as a hairpin almost. Or a double apex, I guess you could say too. And after that, you basically want to keep the throttle pinned. You really want to have momentum through this section, and the tire PSI really helps there too, so you don't bounce really hard. I don't know how many times I bounced off of these two bumps, the last one and this one, a lot. So I actually thought I was going to be really slow through this sector. There was a mistake back there where I kind of went off the road and actually was still really fast, and I think there's probably another second or two or three at least in this run. I actually didn't try this setup combo too much, and it seems like it's way faster than what I was running before, because I immediately started cutting a second off of each sector once I started using this setup, so definitely makes a difference. So one of the big changes I've made is before I was running on 540 for most cars, but the steering wheel and hands wasn't matching up anymore unless that car specifically did run 540. So if you set it to 1440, and turn soft lock on, it'll now automatically change for every car in the game and match up correctly. You can also see my Fanatec settings are also set to 1440, and you might want to adjust this a little bit, but definitely don't go by this number. The wheelbase is still putting out its maximum power, way more than 6 Newton meters, and I run it pretty raw, pretty much almost nothing turned on, even the spring and damper effect strength. If you're getting a lot of oscillation, you might want to click that up. And if you're feeling a little bit of grain, you might want to turn that on 1 or something. So this was the Assetto Corsa Rally event. You go up here to the Rally tab, and it's in the rear wheel drive traction challenge. It's the first event, so I imagine a lot of people are trying this out. Okay, so I'll kind of go over the setup and give you a few reasons why I'm doing these things. So the gear set is set to 2, and there's no suspension damper or axle adjustments, but to use this gear set 2, you have to change your differential ratio to this. I tried out a bunch of different combinations. This seemed to be the best balance of torque and top speed. I did adjust all of these, I believe. The preload is also important. You want to go as low as you can, but you still want to be able to have both of the rear tires spinning. If your rear tire comes up in the air, you don't just want one tire spinning and you lose a bunch of momentum. So especially in the first sector, it really makes a difference. One of the biggest adjustments is the tire pressure. I would go up to at least 35 on the PSI. You know, this is where I ended up. The camber too, I was actually running higher camber and it was making the back end want to pass the front end a little too much, and this is one of the adjustments that let me really carry a little more speed through the corners. The toe as well. I was also running a little more negative toe on the front before, and this really helped as well. The force feedback multiplier is huge. Totally changes the force feedback. You can actually feel some of the surface and strength in the wheel now. And the rear tire pressure. I do like to have the rear a little softer so it doesn't... Seems like the lower you go on the tire PSI, the more the car bounces. So this really helps some of the sections where there's a little dip in the road or surface and the car just kind of skips over it now, where before it would just bounce right upside down and you'd end up off in a tree somewhere. I did some major adjustments to the brakes too. I put on the smaller discs and went to the harder pads. This means the front end will lock up a little bit less. And handbrake force I went up a little on because it just didn't seem like it was really engaging. This basically makes it so more of the braking strength goes to the rear the higher you go on these. And then if you were to go the other way, that would put more pressure on the front brakes. So this is basically like setting your brake bias to the rear a little more. I did want the back brakes to grab a little bit more, so I went to a medium. I want to say they're normally on soft for all four. So this really helps you keep from locking up the front end and just going straight, especially in the downhill section before the hairpin in sector 2. And no adjustments here. So that's basically it. Having the gear ratio set like this basically lets you hit about 100 kilometers per hour in second gear and 140 in third gear. So this car shifts really slow, so you really want to be shifting as little as possible and just carrying the momentum. Thanks for checking out the video. Consider checking out the channel and some of my other Assetto Corsa Rally videos and Le Mans Ultimate.